In this video, let's start exploring attributes or fields. Now, one of the most powerful parts of GIS data and what makes GIS is that the cartography that you draw, the object in space, is geospatially located. But that line is not just a line. That line can have a whole bunch of other data or metadata associated with it. And you put that data in the forms of attributes or fields. To view the attributes of your shapefile, all you have to do is right click on one of them in your contents pane and open the attribute table. Now, we made this real quick or in a previous video, so there's nothing really in here other than an FID, which is auto created, an ID that is auto created, and empty. As you can see, it's just 0, and the shape type. But we can make more however we want. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the select key here. I'm going to select this polygon that I drew in a previous one, and you can see how it highlights it in the table as well if you have the table open. And I am going to delete key on my keyboard and delete that because I don't want it right now, and I'm going to save my edits. And I'm going to leave my attribute table open, but I'm going to pull it down a little since we only got 4 entries. And let's say that for these 4 buildings we traced, we want to, our end goal is we're going to create a map, and we want to be able to tell these apart by the number of floors that they have. Okay, so I need to add some way of knowing what those floors are, which we will use as a field. So with your attribute table open, I'm going to hit the add button, and it will open the fields menu. Now, the fields menu, just like everything else in here, I can click it and drag it, and I can choose where to dock it. I'm going to put it down here. You see how I have 2 options? I'm going to put it on top of it like that. And now I got tabs like we see in our windows. So under here in the fields dialog box, I can create a field, and we're going to call it floors. And floors are whole numbers, so they need to be an integer type, so short or long. And I encourage you to go through the ArcGIS or Esri help dialogues for this, and so that you know what they are. I mean, it's basically these 2 are integers, these 2 are decimals, and it's the size of the number is what dictates which one of these you use, and text and data are pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to choose a short integer, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to come up here and save. And once that's done, I'll close the fields, and you notice now that I have a floors. So what I can do now is I can select them graphically like that, and you can see the row highlighted. Now, if you had many rows, maybe you traced all these and you didn't want to have to sort through it, at the bottom of here you have the show all, or I can just show the one that I have selected. Okay, so let's go through these and assign the floors. Let's put 2 floors, and now notice when I click in the table, it'll change what's selected up here so I can see it graphically. So you have 2 ways of accessing that data. I'm going to put 2 floors, and then let's go to number 3, 3 floors, and 2 floors. We'll make those changes, and I got to make sure I hit my save icon. Okay, and I'm going to close out the attribute box. I'm going to clear my selection, and remember, we did that so that we could view them based on color. So that leads us to symbologies. Symbology is how you symbolize the objects in your layer. You can do it as one thing for everything, or you can set symbologies based on fields or attributes. So for our point, we just put a point. There's nothing special about it. But I can click it over here, click to modify the symbol. You can see it says it, so I'll left click, and it opens the symbology pane, and I have all these presets on mine that you can choose. Okay, so I will come down here and I'll choose a red star, as an example. Well, that's awfully small and I don't like it, so I'll come over here to properties, and in here you can adjust the properties between these three objects. So you've got your basic symbol, you've got the layers, and then you've got some more advanced effects. I'm going to stick with the basic symbol, and let's make it a yellow, and let's make it twice as big, almost twice as big. You can see how it automatically reflects. I have auto apply. If I didn't and I changed this to say 17, see how you have to click apply to change your symbology. So I just turn my auto apply on for myself. That's up to you. Now that was pretty straightforward. Let's play with our polygons. You can see that since I have the symbology pane open, if I select the layer, it automatically chose it. Up here on the first tab of Symbology Polygon, is set to single symbol. In here you have all the different options that you can do for symbologies. We're going to do unique value in this case, and we're going to choose our floors field. And notice that it's smart enough to look at all the values, and it chose some random colors based on these color palettes that you choose. Okay, and you may not like any of them, so all you have to do is click the icon again, and you can come in here and change it to whatever you want. So let's just do whatever color that is. Now I'll hit the back button, and I'll change this one to a blue. Okay, just that easy. I set up my symbology by the field. Notice that you have all other values, so you can leave that on. What will happen is if I created a polygon right now, so if I come up here, go to create, and I create, notice that it carried over the symbology into here to save you some time. Okay, if I draw it right now on this one, I'm just going to draw it as a rectangle ish. You can see that it automatically put in a 3 value. So if I come down here to my attribute table, I can say it's 3 because I chose 3. Well, it's not supposed to be 3, it's supposed to be 4. Now it's gray. And that's what that all other values lets you do. So if you have your symbology set before you finish all your data editing, objects don't disappear. It's a way of showing you that this is different than the other two. You do have the option, let me come back to the symbology, to turn that off, and all other values won't even display. And setting up the symbologies by field is applicable to any and all of these geographic file types. And you have all of these other ones: graduated colors, graduated symbols, proportional symbols, a bunch of options for you to do your cartography with. And that's it for just a brief showing you how to play with fields and then setting a symbology with it. And those are the basic steps. There's much more to it farther down the road, but we'll get into those in more advanced videos. And that's it for this video. I think on our next one we will start creating a layout so we can make a plottable of our maps so that you can see that. If you